Today we're making timeless old money Christmas crafts. Keep watching. I'm Brandy and this is Making It My Own. Welcome. Leather joy statement is first. Alright, so we're going to take this little statement piece or this little sign here from the Dollar Tree. Here's your information on that. I'll use some E6000 and hot glue, of course. I'm going to need a bunch of little clamps to help hold things. Little rubber spatula or something to, protect your hands when you're putting down glues. So this came off of a pumpkin craft that I did a few years ago. It's a beautiful piece of leather that I thrifted, and I thought, well, it's not real leather, obviously. And I thought this is going to be perfect, especially if you like that old world look, the Ralph Lauren look. This would be really good. A really good way to fit that in. You can just use a scrap of leather that maybe like even an old cheap purse. Maybe you could take a bag, and cut it to use it. But you can also get rolls of the fake leather at Dollar Tree in a couple of different colors. So I thought I would use the dark brown here that I already have. Glad to be able to use it again in another project. So for like old world, I guess what they're calling old world, old money, the Ralph Lauren trend that's going around. A lot of use of leather, brasses, golds, deep greens, deep reds, greenery, and things like that. It just gives it a little bit of beauty and charm. It's really a pretty look. I may actually do my Christmas tree in this look this year. We shall see. I do a lot of crafts that I never use. I just don't, because I can't use everything I make. So don't feel obligated to make everything I make, okay? Please don't. Watch the videos. Oh, yes, you can love me and support me that way. But you certainly don't need a house full or garage full of junk that you never use. So just choose the ones that you really like and you have the materials for. All right, I'm using a little white marker here so I can, obviously it's not very dark, but it does show up enough in contrast to that black backing that I can trace out. And I want this to be at least, I don't know, a half of an inch maybe bigger than the sign itself. So I just kind of eyeballed it and went around. You don't have to be exactly precise with it. The idea is to have enough that it fits on the top and that you can also overlap it and glue it down, because this is how we're going to attach it to the piece. And then you can use your utility knife or some little scissors to cut in these smaller spaces to clean these areas out so that you can actually see the letter O and the Y. And then you can get in there with little scissors and trim off the rest of the way. It's really not that difficult. Just takes a moment. Now I'm going to use some E6000. It takes a while for this to dry, so I can put this down here. I'm giving it a shot. This is sort of a slightly porous faux leather material here, but obviously, follow your glue instructions and decide what's going to be best for the materials that you use, because lots of adhesives are different. My boyfriend, he's given me lots of information about chemical compounds and what might work a little bit better as far as adhesives and stuff like that for projects. So I do turn to him for that. All right. So I'm also going to do one end and then go up to the other end, because I want to make sure that I have enough on there that I'm not pulled it up too high when I'm maneuvering it around and getting it out of order. And then I wouldn't be able to get it to fit back on top like it should. In the corners, I found the best way to treat those is to cut straight into them. And then you don't have to worry about that bulk in the corner that just is going to just destroy the wording on your on the statement piece. Why did I call it a statement piece? You can use this as a large ornament in your tree. You can do several of these. You could use this as a center in a wreath or on a wreath if you wanted to. You could hang it off your door and just use it as a sign by itself. So what I mean by statement piece is just that, it's a standout piece that you can make work any way you want to. I hope that made sense. You get what I'm saying, though. I'm probably not using the right words, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, so hot glue will help hold that in place until my E6000 dries. That's why you see all the clamps. We're going to continue around and do the entire thing like this. give it some time to dry, and then we're going to work on the middle pieces here. And we're going to do the cutouts for the Y and the O. We had already pre-cut, but now we're going to go ahead and cut it down and get that out of there, make it nice and crispy. Do y'all ever buy these signs? I know they're in Dollar Tree for lots of different holidays and seasons, and I just wonder, does everybody else use these? Have you ever thought about using these? Now that the galvanized theme there with farmhouse is not what it used to be, or industrial, or whatever, whatever you want to say that metals go with. I wonder, do you use these? Do you paint them? Do you decoupage on them? Because if you're not, you might be missing out. Now you can see how I clipped and folded those over on the ends of the O. This just makes it neat and gives me another space for it to attach down to this metal backing and look like it belongs there. Now, right on the inside, I'm going to grab this little pick tool that came from Dollar Tree and just use it to kind of smear in a little bit of that glue right on the inside. If you're going to use the hot glue on the outside where the leather is, there's a very good chance that you are going to have bubbles and lines, and it's going to look like veining under there. Might not be what you want to go for, but that's totally up to you. Totally up to you. And I'll do the same thing here. I'm just going to go around. And yes, I see my metal right here. And I see the metal down there where I, just couldn't cut it precise enough. And that is so easy to fix. You're just going to grab some brown, and it's close enough of a color as you can to what you're working with. Cover it up. We just patch it. Let that dry. Add a little bit more if you need to. And it just takes the shine off of it so it blends in a little bit better. Or you can just wait and you can do this step. Or with me, I'm going to take some of this job of chalk paint and I'm going to mix it and stick it over here. I didn't want to use the antiquing wax on the leather because from what I've read, antiquing wax does not work well on those types of materials. So I'm not even giving it a shot. We're just going to try it with paint. So to the Java, I'm adding a little bit of ink and I'm going to make this a little bit darker because it does lighten up once it dries down. Okay, so I'm going to go into here with a little sponge brush, and we're just going to use this to bump all of the edges around here and give us a little more detail. This makes this look like an older leather. It maybe looks like it was ironed or pressed down and pressed through when it was made. I don't know all the exact terminology for how you work with leather, but you get the point. You use leather punches and things like that, right? But you see the difference that makes? It gives it a very finished, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I like all of my stuff with a nice little finished and a little extra dimension to it. It is just my taste. So don't worry if you get it a little thick in some spots. You can certainly fix it. If you want your O and your Y to stand out a little more, to make it a little more clear about your word, you just go in there and do this. If you are interested in the things that I'm showing you, if you've learned anything so far in the 8 minutes we've been on, I would love a thumbs up to tell me that you are enjoying it, because it's going to help YouTube push my videos out there so you can find them. I still have people tell me that they're missing my videos, so I'm not sure how that happens, but I see that it does happen pretty often. So, just be sure that you subscribe, that you can unsubscribe, resubscribe, and hit the notification bell, and maybe that'll give it a little reset so you don't miss the videos the next time they come out. All right, here we go. Now I'm just showing you, if you need to lay it down to do it, you don't want to do it free-handed, you can. You can just push it down there and put something underneath it to protect your surface and go around the edges. And that will cover it up, and that will stand out. You can wipe this back fairly easily if you want. Now this is very, very, very lightly bumping this with heat. Very lightly, because I don't know if that would shrink. I don't know if that faux leather would shrink or melt or whatever. So just a tiny bit. It's such a light coat on there, it dries quickly anyway. To finish the back of your project, you can take some crafting paper from Dollar Tree or wherever you get your crafting paper from. You can even save the paper that they send your Amazon packages in. Yeah, you can use those again. Just iron them out and use them. I'm going to cut this out, and I want this to be cut right on the inside of the lines because this needs to be a little bit smaller. It's going to go on the back and cover up the rest of that metal and cover up all the edges where we glued down the leather. This is just going to give it a neater appearance. A lot of people say, well, you can't sell things if you don't complete the project. Yeah, you're right. If you want to sell it, you need to finish the back for sure. I don't sell my stuff. Not an issue for me. But I'm showing you how to do it. Easy enough. Make sure that it is going to match up where it needs to be, and then you can just start gluing it down. Now, this on the back doesn't matter if you use hot glue. Nobody's going to see the back, and you're pressing something on top of it. It's going to be totally okay. And this will finish it off nicely. If you have enough leather and you want to do front and back with the leather, you just go right ahead and do that. I bet it would be gorgeous. I really think it would be pretty. Going along, all the way around until you get back to your starting point. And just be sure you clean up your glue if any of it squishes out. Trim up if you need to trim up any more. And then give it some time for everything to set up and dry. And then we're going to think about how we can embellish this. Look at this beautiful ribbon. Now it says give trim, but I'm using it in crafts because I like to use things, if I can get it cheaper, I'm going to get it. And I'll use it for whatever I find a use to get it for. I'll find a craft to put it in. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't sound like I know what I'm saying. But I do. I promise you I'll do that. Now, I'm just going to make a really easy bow with this. I think it says 1-inch trim. Very pretty velvety material. Very rich in that deep, beautiful green that I was referring to for the Old Money in the Ralph Lauren. And I'm going to pinch it up. Take a little scrap piece of gold cord that I have and tie it in the middle. I got some comments on one of my Ralph Lauren videos that people were saying, well, how is this even Ralph Lauren? You need to have plaid and all that. My point in that video was to show you, and I put verbiage on there to explain how you can transition something you already have into something that will fit into the Ralph Lauren style if you want to bring it into your home. We can't all go out and buy brand new stuff all the time, but we can change some of the things we have and still have a beautiful look and, feel a little trendy or, whatever you like there. That was the idea of that video. So, yes, I do have lots of good compliments on the video too. So I thank you if you were supportive in that video. I think some people just didn't understand or maybe weren't reading the little captions, but that's okay. So now y'all understand if you didn't know before. I'm just going to cut up a couple of pieces so I can add greenery. Make it look pretty. And these are just pieces that were thrifted. I know I want my little bow to go right between the J and the O so that it almost looks like the O is a little wreath. Little bit of hot glue. Protect your fingers, y'all. Don't forget, protect your fingers. And then I'll add some hot glue here. I can do this on top of the leather where the leather is not going to be showing, right? You can't see it, so that's not going to be a problem. It's when you're going to see it, you want to be real careful about it. And for me, I just like to kind of look at it and figure out where I'd like another leaf or where can I put it where it won't obstruct the view but still look nice and blend well. Give it just a little something extra with the berries. Same pick that the ivy leaves came from. These all came off the same pick. And by breaking this larger pick apart into pieces, I'll be able to make more crafts. Yes. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please do so. If you're watching, I need you to know how important you are to me. I really, really do. And I can tell you in the comments all the time, and I can tell you in the videos, and I can encourage you. And that's what I want to do here. So if I'm being repetitive about that, it's only because I'm genuine, and I really do care about y'all. All right, so there we go. And if you wanted to add, gold berries, you could certainly do that, kind of make it a little richer. And these are sort of a platinum, very pretty. But now we have a hanger on the back, and this one is good to go for whatever you want to use it for. Yep. Thank you to my members for your monthly contributions to keep my business going, and it means a lot to me and the kids. plaid banded vase. This is just a little vase that I already had. I'm not sure where it came from, but I'm almost definite it was thrifted. You can see the size of it if you wanted to use it. You can also use a jar for this idea if you don't have a vase. I'm going to use a little bit of this beautiful ribbon. I could also use some cording like this. I am going to wrap this ribbon around here and decide how much I need to band it. This is the easiest craft in the whole universe. And I have to tell you, I like to welcome everybody in this channel. So if you're new here, this is something you're going to find very encouraging. Get you on your craft journey. I'll give you easy things and explain things. So with the wired ribbon, if we don't need the wire, we just pull it out of there. And I don't need it. It's giving me too much structure, and I need a little more floppy or flimsy in here to make it go down on this surface. This is not a completely round. It's got sort of a smaller bottom than it does at the, I guess, underneath the rim. The top rim is the widest part. You know, you can see there that little area. And so I'm going to do my best to line these up and make these look like they fit perfectly on here. This thicker ribbon is going to do that for me. Y'all, the ribbon, I'm pretty sure was a thrift find. Yeah, it's beautiful though, and it's thick. It's got that gold on the back. Oh, it's so pretty. And then just to make it look nice, instead of raggedy and frayed on the end, you can just fold it over just like you would if you were hemming something. You can use a little hot glue and press it in place. Now I could have spray painted the bottom of that gold if I wanted to, most definitely. But you can use any color you like right here. Or you can leave it plain, or you can wrap it with a ribbon. So if you want to leave it white, you can put buttons on it. You can put little bobs on it. But I just thought, no, it was bothering me. So I removed my ribbon, and I'm going in here with some of this holly green paint. And this is not chalk paint, so it's going to take more than one coat. I did not have a green in this color, so I'm just going to use this. I'm going to go all the way around here. You don't have to be super neat. My first layer, I just do little wispy, just like this. And then when I go back over, I'll get the sponge, and I'll use the sponge with the green paint to kind of make it have a more solid, you know, less translucent appearance. I wanted it to be solid. So I'm just drying it here and showing you. It makes it really, really easy to do. There's the bottom now. And no, it's not perfect. You're not going to see very much of it, so don't sweat it. Do not sweat it. Again, I'm going to put my ribbon back on there. So if you do something and you're not completely satisfied with it, it's just a little bit of hot glue. Pull it off and start over. If you don't like the paint, paint it. You would be so surprised at the difference paint makes. Oh, and the videos coming up, some of the things I've painted just with spray paint. It makes a massive difference in the way things look. All right, so I'm going to put that back down. Same process again. I'm going to make sure that I line it up, make it pretty, fold it over in the back. And so this is what the little vase will look like. For the greenery, I'm going to use a pick that I got from Ollie's. That actually, can y'all believe they were actually from Joann? You know, Ollie gets, or Ollie's, whichever one, they get overstock. So I guess they bought out a bunch of stuff that came from Joann originally. So y'all better go see, because these picks are massive and the savings was substantial. Go to your Ollie's and check it out. See what they've got. They have wreaths and swags and all kinds of mess. Really nice. All right, so I'm just using pillow batting here because I thought, you know what, we'll just make this look like snow, and it'll also give me something light and loose that I can hold my little picks into, because otherwise you're just shoving the picks in there. You can see the wire, you can see the picks, and they want to flop out. This is going to help give them something to grab onto. And it looks like snow, so I think it works. So I'm grabbing little pieces here, placing those down, and then once you get enough in there, they're going to start supporting one another, just like trees do outside in the woods. You know, their canopies connect, they intertwine, they reach for the stars together, or the sun, whichever. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to let them stack and get on top of one another and hold one another up. Give it just a little bit of a bend here and there. This is really pretty greenery, very well made greenery too. But you can use anything you want in yours. Again, this goes back to the rich greenery and that beautiful, you know, it's just a richer look, I think. Especially when you start adding the reds and the blues and the greens, such pretty colors. And you can use whatever type of ribbon you want also. Just, sort of, if you're going to try to stay in the theme, just make sure that you're using the colors that kind of qualify it as being that old money style. And this is what she will look like. The golden pine cone ornament is next. Easy, easy. Okay, so here's the pine cone that I thrifted that was already painted. So you can get a pine cone, clean it, and spray paint it yourself. You can use ribbons to adorn the top. You can use cording like this if you wanted to adorn the top. But I thought, let's use some of this vintage rickrack that I have here. I found it at the thrift store. Here's some measurements in case you're wondering. Just to get the scale right, I'm going to cut off about a foot of this, fold it over on itself, and that may be about 14 inches. Doesn't matter, just depends on how long you want your hanger to be. If you put your ornaments really close to the branch, then you can make short hangers. Totally up to you. I know I say that a lot, but it really is. Crafting is totally up for you. It's totally up to you. And I'm grateful that you come here and you watch me and you listen to me talk and you choose to spend your time with me. I'm very grateful. So I'm just going to tie this on. It's pretty strong to be old, It's hanging in there, but I also know not to overdo it. It doesn't need to hold up a house. It just needs to hold a pine cone, right? I'll add a little bit of hot glue also on there. It's just going to help hold it and keep it from slipping off. Although the stem was a little bit notchy, so it kind of catches on that naturally. If you wanted to do that all over your tree as a very simple thing, you could totally do that. And I'm going to add a bow. Got some of this beautiful, this is some more of that gift trim stuff, I guess, but it's smaller. And I'm just going to make a very simple little bow for this. You can adjust this bow by pulling on the loops and pulling on the tails or the bottom, the free pieces. I know I want to leave it a little bit long, so I get that flop factor that we're seeing a lot in the decor. Put it here. This definitely would fit into the whole Ralph Lauren thing. For sure, that beautiful deep green and the gold that is still nature inspired. Love it. If you don't have velvet, you don't have to. Satin ribbon would be beautiful here as well. Nice, deep, rich colors. So you can add on little berries, little holly leaves. You can add pieces of fir or evergreen or any scraps that you have if you want to. If you want to add some mini poinsettias, you could do that as well. I'm just going to put a little bit up here on the top just for a little something extra. For those of you who like the little something extra. Some don't, and that's okay. But some do appreciate the little extra. So there he is. Pretty, pretty. I'm ready to go on your tree. And see, it took no time, and you could do several of these with a can of spray paint and be ready to decorate in no time. The poinsettia wreath is next. All right, I've got some burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree in a green. Some more of this beautiful ribbon. And I have got some of these that I found at the thrift store. They're so pretty. They're like a velvety. They're not flocked, I don't think, but it's just a really soft, like a suede feel. I've got some more of these picks. See, Bloom. And they were $99, and at Ollie's I paid $2.99. I got these about 2 weeks ago. Here is a natural wreath that I have had for quite some time. I've used it several times in crafting. It is about 18 inches long and about 17 inches wide. So we have an oval, essentially. I like it long ways like this. We're going to take a pick apart. These just slide in. They're like papered in. If you don't have the type that slide in, just get your cutters and just cut those off. You want enough stem in there that you can weave into the vining that's used on here. If you don't give it a little bit of bend, it might try to push out of the backside. It's just, leave a little bit of stem there. And you can add some hot glue on the end when you put these in to make them more permanent. If you want to change it out, you don't have to. This will hold it tightly if you get this tight. And it's going to stay fine if you're using it inside of the house. But obviously, if you're putting it outside, let's put it in a covered area with some really good quality glue. And it'll stay together. I think this is not only a pretty wreath for Christmas, but also very pretty for winter. There's nothing on here that's just going to scream out that it came, that it's a Christmas wreath, so you could certainly leave it. Now I've got 3 here and 3 sort of toward the bottom, but you can see we're working with the bottom. See, if you cut this thing into quarters, we're down there in the 3rd quarter. So we're in the 3rd quarter of the wreath right there. I'm making sure that I kind of put these pieces in where my pine cones are not, I don't want it to be too top heavy with too many pine cones on the top, not enough on the bottom, or everything in one area. I want to mimic what a branch would look like on a tree. And that's what I'm doing in the wreath. I want it to give it, a natural look. So far, so good, and I'm not having to glue anything in yet. The pine cones are wired, so you can bend those around. You just have to be careful that you don't shatter your pine cone, because they will fall apart and squish if you're not careful. These are going to be cut way down because they have massive stems. And then I will use these on top of the greenery. So if you want to use more greenery, you can. If you want to use less, you can use less. I think I'm stating the obvious, I feel like. Always, when you have florals, be sure that you are spreading those pieces apart and you are opening them up and give them a little perk, a little life, because they get flattened out and when they're in storage. And when they're in their store, they don't always fluff them out to make them as beautiful as they potentially could be. Pressing them into place and then opening that up. And you can even tuck some of the leaves behind the pine cones or bring some of your greenery up through the leaves. Whatever you feel like you want to do there to make it look more realistic to you. Here's how you add hot glue. At the other house, I had an actual dish, like a little crock pot looking thing that you put your glue in for making wreaths, but I couldn't find it when I moved, so I guess I left it or accidentally put it with the donation stuff, which is great for somebody because they got a brand new piece of equipment to use, right? Yeah, somebody's probably very excited, so maybe it did end up being thrifted. So the leaves we could definitely still use that came with the poinsettias, and we'll just poke those in there here and there where it looks like it makes a little bit of sense, since it's close to the flowers where it would have come from originally. They were kind of falling off, starting to like break away. I don't know if I was too rough with them when I had them, when I used them last or what, but they were kind of falling apart, and they could just be old. Sometimes that happens too. It's a sad thing when I can't recycle something. It's a real sad thing. All right, so right here is where we're going to make a bow. If you don't want a bow, just go ahead and fill that up with poinsettias. You don't have to. But it's Christmas time, y'all. We want bows at Christmas time. And the traditional look, you're going to have some bows on some things. So I'm just showing you how we're going to use 36 inches. Ugh, stunning. I don't know that I've ever really had this quality of ribbon, nor would I purchase it full price. Nope. So you're going to make your loops. They're going to be about 7 inches long if you're following what I am doing here. You just cross that over and then pinch it together, and then you can pull down the tails. I'm going to use a clamp just to hold that in place. And we're going to do another one just like that, but we're going to do it with the green burlap. Now, would I normally use burlap for this theme? I would not, but I didn't have the ribbon I needed, and I'm saving money, y'all. I'm saving money. I got a mortgage to pay now, right? Y'all just imagine this as beautiful green velvet in a 2-inch ribbon. That would be gorgeous. You're going to probably need some wire, though, because this is the type that you have to wire. That you have to bend and flex and, You don't want it to be floppy. So I just decided to use a zip tie here because, you know, I do that sometimes. Y'all look at mine. Can you tell I use costume jewelry? Look at my ring. That ring has seen better days, but I absolutely love it. I love it. It's tarnished though. I could probably fix that myself. Do y'all ever fix your own like costume jewelry? Do you repair it and keep it, or you chunk it and start over? I mean, it's not like I paid a fortune for it. Okay, so then I'm going to take my loops and fluff those out. You can fluff it out where they're right on top of one another. You can do it in an upcoming video. I'm going to show you how you do it when you double the ribbon up and you have them together and you bind them together at the same time rather than one at a time. You'll see. I'm going to cut these as slants. I'm not doing dovetails in this, but it's totally up to you if you want to do that. You can attach this down to this any way that you want to. If you want to use a piece of ribbon, you can do that. And I thought, you know what? I've got these little pieces over here. I use them sometimes with wreath making. I'm going to twist this around here. And we'll use this to cover up my tie and attach it right on down. If you're not a vigorous fluffer of bows, then you might not need to have to worry about putting anything as tight as a zip tie in there. This might actually work by itself for you. But I get really rough with my bows trying to make them do the right thing. You know, they just don't listen. Sometimes they don't listen. So I'm just showing you. You can, if you like the look of it, you can kind of feed those through there and put them together. Leave them together as a clump if you want. Spread them out, cut them shorter, or even make them longer. Okay, so to add a little bit of gold warmth, I decided to grab some of these tiny ornaments, and you can get the ones at Dollar Tree that are small. These are just some that I already had, and they're little glass ornaments. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue and just put those here and there. I think there were 5 of them, so some of them are rather hidden, and some of them are easy to see. And I think that just looks so much better now with that bow with the gold in it. It really just brought that richness up to really sell that old money style, in my opinion. And this is what that beautiful wreath is going to look like. I really hope you like it. I thank you so much for stopping by today. I want you to check out this little square down here for more. Until next time, keep making it your own.